Welcome to this series on inspirational leadership. And in this series, we're going to look at a definition of leadership called creating space. It's not like it's a completely new way of looking at leadership. It's just a different way to consider it. I want to go back to Exodus chapter 18, where Jethro comes to visit his son-in-law, Moses, and he's watching Moses as the leader of the people of Israel as they're leaving from Egypt and going toward the promised land. And in this day, Jethro turns up to watch Moses, and Moses spends all day judging the people. From the beginning of the day to the end of the day, people come to him, ask him questions, and he's continuing to answer questions, solve issues, etc. Now, you can just imagine what it must have been like for Moses with his father-in-law watching him. And we're going to come back to this, what Jethro says in the next little segment. But in this segment, it's very interesting to consider what Moses does. Moses sees himself as being the leader that God called him to be. But what he's actually doing is taking up the space that other people could have to be involved in leadership and involved in ministry. Now, there are several reasons that Moses takes this space up, and we're not sure exactly why. It might have been that he was just a complete control freak and wanted to control everything. It may have been, and I think it's more like this, he was a responsibility freak. He felt that this was his responsibility. It may have been that he couldn't see anybody else that could do the job. It may have been that he didn't have time to train anybody up. It may have been that he didn't have any other model. But the thing to keep in mind is this, that while Moses sat and judged all the people and took up all the roles himself, he took away the space from everybody else. It's an interesting thing to consider. In your leadership, I want to ask you a reflection question, as it were. In your leadership, where is it that you may be taking up the space where others could be involved?